Hi there, and a good evening. This is Talk, and Petrie here until 1 o'clock. And with me in the studio, I don't know how, if you're watching, I'm warning you now, Van Connor is in the studio, film critic. That is an outfit, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to explain. He's wearing a suit, a jacket and trousers. That is a demonic teddy bear print. I think
demonic teddy bear spewing green vomit, I think.
Where do you even buy something like that?
The internet is a magical place, Petrie. A magical place.
And you actually paid money for that?
I handed over folding money, hard-earned, tax-paying money, yes, to...
Well, if anyone can pull it off, you can.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it looks good.
I think for the occasion it was warranted.
It was warranted, yeah. We'll get to the occasion in a moment. There is an occasion where that suit is warranted. This is the only occasion, by the way, that suit is warranted. So... That's it, Van. You get one chance.
I get one. Yeah.
So, Van, let's talk about Sing Sing.
Yeah, so Sing Sing is this new drama that... This has been kicking around. There's been a buzz around this for about 6 months now. It sort of came immediately off the back of the end of awards season last year, and it seemed like this was one of the early sort of murmuring ones that was sort of simmering away. And now the buzz is that this will get Colman Domingo Best Actor win. I think it might...
Best Actor.
An Oscar for Best Actor. Now, I think it will at the very least get him a nomination, but there is a chance he could get a win here. So, this is loosely based on a true story. It's about a programme that's been set up in Sing Sing prison in the United States, in which inmates are rehabilitated through theatre, through learning the performing arts and being coached in, you know, how to perform in a dramatic context. And the film not only tells this story of a man who's wrongfully incarcerated and happens to be running one of these programmes and how he interacts with these convicts, but it also stars actual graduates of that programme who have then been paroled, since one of whom is the producer of the movie. I've got a clip for you, I don't want to spoil for you. This is Sing Sing.
This is a clemency hearing for your conviction, 25 to life. Since you've been in custody, you've been involved in a theater program.
Gentlemen, let's go. It's been a program that was established to help people get more in touch with their feelings and truly get some rehabilitation.
I am Gladiator Goliath. I am Spartacus.
I'm Prince Hamlet of Denmark.
And it's turned into something, I don't know, wonderful.
What part do you play?
From time to time I do act, like we all do.
So are you acting at all during this interview?
I haven't heard anything about this.
I got invited to so many screenings of this in Chicago over the last 6 months. I'm still registered as a film critic there, and I just figured this had to be something because they were really laying it on thick. And then British film critic friends of mine started to see this through Venice and Cannes and things like that, and they all just immediately started heaping love all over it. I get it. I'm always quite cynical when there's anything that gets a lot of early Oscar buzz, because generally it turns out to be what I describe as cardigan fare. But I get it on this, and in addition to an absolutely brilliant performance from Colman Domingo, I think Clarence Macklin, who's the graduate and parolee, graduate of the programme, parolee from Sing Sing prison, who is also, plays himself, named for himself, but is also a producer and I think co-writer in some capacity on the movie as well. I think he is a find, rather like Barkhad Abdi in Captain Phillips.
Oh, really?
How this guy just came out of nowhere. And, absolutely wonderful naturalistic performances, but also really well captured. It uses an almost IMAX-like ratio where they've used 1:66 ratio instead of 1:16 like we normally get on TV.
It felt almost like a documentary. It felt a little bit like that.
It has it has that very grounded verite kind of feel.
Well, that sounds right up my street. I'd like that. Now, this film is right up my street, and this is the occasion for which you bought and are wearing that suit. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice.
Yes, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. A movie in which we can't tell you who Michael Keaton plays in Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, because otherwise bad things will happen.
Bad things will happen. You're not allowed to say it 3 times.
You're not allowed.
You're not allowed to say it 3 times.
So it has now been... So it was 88 when the first one came out. I think it was 1988, which puts it now, what, 26 years? It's 26 years since the first movie. We've now got a sequel in which Winona Ryder...
No, 36.
Is it 36?
88, yeah.
88, 36. Oh my God! Wow. Okay, so 36. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Way to make me feel even older. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, since you passed 40, you know. So 36 years later, we've now got Winona Ryder, who was the emo teen in the first movie, is now the mum of the family. All right. You've got Maureen O'Hara as the as the grandmother now, back in full, you know, Moira mode, as it's been called. And now we have a new emo teen daughter, played by Jenna Ortega from Wednesday. Yeah. And some of the later Scream sequels, you know, star of every TikTok recommendation I get, because it seems to show me nothing but the Wednesday dance. If I'm honest, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's a thing. Anyway, so you have a new family. So you have a death in the family who is coincidentally also the one actor who has been cancelled and can't be brought back, the dad in the first one, Jeffrey Jones's character. And upon his funeral, the family all descend back upon the house from the first movie, and a new plot undermines in which Beetlejuice tries to work his way back into the real world whilst escaping the most evil, malevolent being in all of the afterlife, his ex-wife. I've got a clip for you.
So you're saying that someone called Beetlejuice...
Don't say his name. If you say his name 3 times, he will appear.
I know this is a big step for you, but in the words of Dr. Glickman, I'm going to give you the push you need. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Is that...
Beetlejuice!
First of all, I want you 2 kids to know this is a safe space, okay? Feel free to express yourself. Don't be afraid. I sense there's an enabler here, but we'll get to that.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really? Is this a figment of your imagination?
I loved the first one, so am I going to love this one?
I think you'll enjoy it, but I think pretty much everyone's going to agree that it's simply not as iconic as the first movie, and it certainly doesn't have that ramshackle looseness that I think made the first movie. The first movie was very stream of consciousness at times. It felt like they were making a movie without a script and just sort of went off wherever they felt. And this feels very plot-driven. It's the difference, in a way, between Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, right, okay.
You know how there's not really a point to the first Top Gun movie, but the second movie they've at least got to go on a mission. This has that, and it does take it in a direction that gives it an almost Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibe at times, but live action. And it does, I mean, MVPs for this one, like the original cast are all fine and everything, but I think the people that walk away stealing this are Justin Theroux, who you saw on the clip there, as the sort of very douchebaggy, trauma-bonding boyfriend type of Winona Ryder's character, very hipstery. But also Willem Dafoe as a dead, like, 1980s cop movie star, who's also the chief of police in the afterlife. And it's one of those roles that Willem Dafoe just really excels in, just relishes in a very just amusingly plastic way. But a good time.
Do you think it'll do well?
I think it's going to be decidedly mid-tier. I don't think the actual nostalgia for Beetlejuice is enough amongst the people for who are now missing from the box office. Effectively, the Gen Z crowd, who really only care about this stuff on TikTok. Jenna Ortega's crowd are not going to go to this, because she arguably is the weakest link of the film.
Is she?
She's got the
least...
She
was brilliant in Wednesday.
She's great in Wednesday, but it's a very underwritten, very bland role. It's very generic teen. And especially when you look at, like, how Winona played the same role in the previous one. Like, Winona Ryder's character performance in that first one came with so much more charisma and charm, even though she was still doing the put-upon, you know, dowdy, sour-faced, everything sucks tween. You know, and it's weird how much, how the difference plays between those two.
Oh, well, I mean, I might wait for it to stream rather than go to the cinema. Vin Diesel?
He's Vin, I'm Van.
He's Vin, you're Van.
He's Vin, I'm Van.
You diesel or petrol?
Petrol currently. I think the last one was diesel. I think I'm currently petrol.
This is the 4th outing as Richard B. Riddick for the upcoming Riddick Fury. Why? I must have seen the first, because I love Vin Diesel.
Well, I mean, I hope you love Van too. But so this is the character who began in Pitch Black, in 2000, the horror movie where the spacecraft landed on the crashed on the planet, and there were the monsters that only came out in the dark, and Vin Diesel could only see in the dark.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was the escaped convict. It was very Escape from New York.
Yeah.
You then had the Chronicles of Riddick in 2004. There was a video game, animated movie, and then finally a threequel, a third live-action film in I think 2013, which is, in my opinion, the second best. We're finally getting a new one. It's filming across Europe now. It's called Fury. It's going to take the character back to his home world. So we're looping off this sort of sci-fi Lord of the Ringsy mythology that Vin Diesel has cooked around this character.
Right, okay.
Very precious about it. And it's filming around Europe now, including in the UK at a point. So it
might bump into him then. And just very quickly, James McAvoy has revealed that his performance in next week's Speak No Evil remake is based on Andrew Tate.
This is very true. So we're going to talk about this next week, and this movie looks sinister as hell. Like, I'm so in. It's a remake of a Danish horror thriller that opened last year. I've got the link to watch. I've just not got around it. Didn't have to review it because it went straight to Shudder. James McAvoy is this psychotic dad in it who, I don't want to spoil anything for you because we will talk about it next week, but he looks like he descends into very toxic incel masculinity nonsense quite quickly, like on a dime. And apparently he has based the performance on, in the same way that like Christian Bale apparently based Patrick Bateman on Tom Cruise on The Tonight Show. It looks
it's interesting because for me Tate is a villain, so it'd be interesting to see. Van, thank you very much indeed, and for the sartorial elegance as well. It's given us all a smile. Van Connor, their film critic, back again next week, and again this time next week a joint exclusive interview on this programme with Times Radio as Josh Rom speaks to Kate Winslet about her latest movie, Lee. So that's coming up next week as well. And then I go on holiday for a week. Anyway, stay where you are because...